Tonight on Man and Machine.
How insidiously clever.
It's a perfect day in paradise, if you don't count 3 straight years of drought. But hey, another 2-hour delay on the Vegas-Ventura freeway, so get an early start. On the pub trans front, they finally got those folks down off the monorail. Just a few broken arms and 2 days late from work, but hey. They also caught that sniper, and I smell a miniseries. Weather-wise, the drought continues, 3 years and counting, but hey, look outside. Another sunny day with no rain in sight. By the way, the skin department says it's factor 40 sunblock if you're heading outdoors today, and I take that seriously if you're not looking for a long stay in the graft unit of your local hospital. Hey, Sector 27, Bulletino. K106 has a water bonus for you starting now. Make that shower thing happen, because it's on us, the good guys. Speaking of that sun out there today, the Good Guys B-Ball squad is playing a charity game against a team of women players in the NBA next week, led by Clippers great and Baylor Uzarawa. Proceeds go to victims of ultraviolet skin disease.
I got some bolus water happening here, Cap. Make it fast, okay?
We've got a suspicious death at the Peterson estate in Zone 15. Seems a reporter has...
Fine, great. Give me all the details.
I want you here in 20, Bobby. Get moving.
Man. Hey, what a way to start a day, huh? Big crime, extra water, and a sumptuous breakfast
fresh from my oven next door. Pain au chocolat et café au lait.
Merci beaucoup, Eric, but I got plans.
Yeah, how about taking me on this Dolores Peterson thing?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The body in Zone 15. It's in my publisher's swimming pool.
How come you know more than I do?
Do you think I want to write about food for the rest of my life? I've got a police radio, and I listen to it. By the way, you better hurry up if you're going to get any of that free water.
Stop!
Your shower.
It's only a few minutes. You gotta be ready. You see, the body was found in my publisher's swimming pool. So I figure if we... Man, are you aware you don't have a stove?
It's in the claws of the repo man. I got one of those big garland jobs with the built-in grill. Sort of overstepped the budget on it.
I couldn't live without my stove.
It's a freeload at every restaurant in town.
Uh-huh. And what about that Tibetan joint I took you to on the cuff? Ox with 3 sauces, tea with yak butter, huh? When did you ever eat like that?
So
help me get off the food page. I don't belong there. And you shouldn't be drinking anything but Antarctic glacier water. It's the purest.
Mann? We're late.
Whoa, who's the babe? My partner, and don't look at her that way.
Did Claghorn call you?
Yeah, I'll be right there. I just got to dress and...
You have a soapy residue in your hair.
Hi. I'll be riding with you today?
No, you're not. Eve, this is Eric. He's a food writer.
Journalist. Investigating this Peterson pool thing.
My neighbor, and you're not investigating anything with us.
Why not?
It's a police precinct, Eric, not a new restaurant.
I thought you would be in a better mood today, Mann. I understand you had water this morning.
It's a long story.
I would have brought donuts!
It's been a long time since we've seen a murder in Sector 15.
2 years or so. If this turns out to be murder, I guess I should tell you, you know the victim.
I do.
Afraid so?
Oh, no.
Who is he?
Barney Rothman. He was a reporter.
Was he your friend?
Yeah. No. We had a few beers together. What do we know?
Just that the gardener found him about 5:30 this morning, and the house belongs to his publisher, Dolores Peterson.
That's a familiar name.
Dolores Owens Peterson, also known as Tipper. Born 1947, married Osborne Peterson and inherited his fortune. Well known in society circles. She has extensive interests in recycling, newspapers, television networks, private penitentiaries, and the moon shuttle.
Filthy rich.
I have no data on her personal hygiene practices.
Was she at home?
I have no way of knowing.
Oh, so you don't know everything.
It would be impractical to know everything. Access time would be enormous.
Apparently she wasn't there. We're still trying to locate her. Maybe there's nothing to this.
Maybe there is. Barney Rothman was not a guy to go quietly.
I moved him up the hit list at pathology, review the evidence file, and then cover the autopsy. It's at noon.
We should handle it at my house.
Can you believe it? Barney Rothman found dead in a swimming pool. What can you tell me?
A lot of things come to mind. How'd you get in here?
I do have a newspaper ID.
Eric, you're like one of those people who watches the obituary channel trying to get a rent-controlled apartment. They're never going to switch you the news, especially after that yeast thing.
Oh, give me a break. That was one lousy typo in a bread recipe.
My Aunt Claudette worked 3 hours on that recipe. No yeast. It never rose. She was so upset I had to eat it anyway. It felt like I swallowed a medicine ball.
Ma'am, no offense to your family, but food recipes are merely an analogy for chemical equations. Aunt Claudette could have noticed the imbalance caused by a lack of leavening agents.
Right. What she said.
Hey, you don't have to know about chemistry or analogies to be a great cook. Just have to be from Louisiana.
Fine. I will vouch for the fact that you're a great cook. You're a wonderful cook. Now, would you please let me in on this case?
Look, there are strict rules against civilian involvement. Couldn't break my perfect record of adherence to departmental regulations.
Where are you going?
Eve's house.
Let's take my car.
Eve's works fine.
Mine's faster.
I don't think speed is really at issue here, Eric. What Mann really wants to say is you're unwanted.
Can't believe you said that. What he really wants to say is, you're unwanted.
Well, that was what you meant, was it not?
Yeah, but when you're ditching somebody, you gotta remember their feelings. You can't just say you're unwanted. You gotta say something like, something like, I gotta go to the opera. You got it?
The opera. All right. But why are you so hard on Eric? He's enthusiastic, goal-oriented, and ambitious, all valuable qualities.
Yeah, for president, yeah, and Eric, it drives me crazy.
It may not be a positive reflection on you that you are repelled by an abundance of desirable characteristics.
Yeah, but it's what makes me lovable. Hey, let's access Rothman.
I have to unlock the file. Could you hand me my case?
Oh, no, not the eyeballs.
Retinal scanning is a very efficient security system.
I hate this. I can get used to anything but this.
Hold this, please. I have a list of the stories for the past 3 months.
Phony ozone readouts, PCBs in the water supply. Hey, we have a winner.
What's that?
An old acquaintance, Mark Kaminsky. A two-time loser I put away. You know, if Rothman dissed him in the print, maybe he settled the score.
Unlikely. The article states that Kaminsky is now importing Chinese wine. The content and prose style are insubstantial. I believe it is what is called a puff piece.
You didn't happen to catch what went on in Blondie that day, did you?
Several middle-aged women interrupted Dagwood while he was bathing. Why do you ask?
Never mind. Expecting anyone?
I don't know anyone.
A white dragon delivery, courtesy of Mr. Eric Eason.
Check it out. Kung Pao chicken. Spicy eggplant. Oh, we are talking serious lunch here, sports fans.
You do realize that Eric has a transparent motive in sending us this food.
Transparent, opaque, who cares? Garlic shrimp.
Fine, you have lunch. I'll handle the autopsy liaison. Hello, Isaac.
Good afternoon, Eve. This is file number 67-804. Bernard Abraham Rothman. White male of 48 years of age, approximately 6 feet, 195 pounds. Anything specific you want to know about him?
The death is an apparent drowning, Isaac. We need confirmation.
Also, can you analyze the water in his lungs right away?
You know I do requests. Okay. The white foam present in the mouth, some bruising to the forearm, trauma to the fingernails. All right. We're going to make the thoraco-abdominal incision. The big Y, as we call it in the shop. Well, no sign of damage to the breastplate. Let's just remove it. A lot of fluid in the pleural cavity. Signs of asphyxia in the pericardium.
Can we go in close on that?
I'll start analysis on the lung as soon as I get it out of there. It's a slippery little devil.
Aren't you going to finish your lunch?
I'm full.
I have never had Kung Pao chicken.
I thought you didn't need to eat.
But I have an advanced taste mechanism. Without the drive of hunger, one can more fairly evaluate the actual quality and flavor of the food.
I'm training the lung now.
This is very good. The peanuts and chicken provide a stimulating contrast. Yum.
Well, this is interesting. The swimming pool was chlorinated, but his lungs are full of fresh water.
They're what?
Chlorine-free. Which means Mr. Rothman drowned somewhere, but not in that pool.
And somebody went to all the trouble to move him.
As you can see, Captain, Rothman died earlier than we thought. And he had not had enough alcohol to cause serious impairment.
Who would put water in a liquor flask?
Not Barney Rothman.
And the water in the flask matches the water in his lungs.
So maybe he fell in while he was filling his flask.
Or he was pushed.
You know, you're developing a suspicious mind. I like that in a woman.
But not in a man? Anyway, I'm not being suspicious. I'm merely reviewing the possibilities.
That's what my wife used to say.
You talked to Dolores Peterson?
She was out of town all day.
Returned late last night.
Then I suggest you start the day by taking a drive up Snob Hill and seeing if she knows how Barney wound up in her pool.
I understand you had some trouble finding me.
We went to your Bel Air house.
I'm sorry, I thought you knew. I came out here to get away from where Barney died.
What was he doing in your swimming pool, Mrs. Peterson?
Oh, Barney was always sneaking onto the grounds at night. He'd go for a swim, often naked, always drunk. It had its own sort of charm. I saw no need to stop him. Perhaps I should have.
Would anyone want him dead, Mrs. Peterson?
Dozens. He had every possible vice.
Let's narrow it down, then. How many people would kill him and leave him in your pool?
Good point. Perhaps they wanted to embarrass me.
Or warn you?
Oh, you mean warn the paper? I really have no idea which of the many people with reason to kill Barney might have done it, Detective. This year alone, he broke several major stories.
The water reservoir had the greatest impact.
I suppose it did. It nearly killed Bennett Tyler.
The waters are.
El Zenero del Pueblo, as they call it in the state assembly.
Barney wrote about that reservoir that's awash in PCBs. Tyler tried to cover up the story, but he botched it. And they've been howling for him ever since. He doesn't care for howling.
Who does?
Well, let's see what he says. You won't mention us to him, will you, Mrs. Peterson? I'd like to catch him off guard.
I don't know him anything.
You have very beautiful grounds, Mrs. Peterson.
An accident of geography. This land is between water jurisdictions. I can use as much as I can buy.
There's plenty.
A small price for the beauty, don't you think?
Okay, you got the characters?
Yes, I am young and earnest. You are older, capable of making any deal.
Good.
And just how do these identities vary from our real selves?
They don't always have to.
But why are we congressional aides? Mr. Tyler is a state-appointed official.
Yeah, but his power base is Washington. How do I look?
Credible. What about me?
Good. Just one more thing. Let's try these glasses.
They produce considerable disorientation.
Yeah, but they look great. Come on.
I hope you don't mind this walk, but there's some people in the office I would rather
Not have seats.
No offense. I'm glad your boss is so concerned for me. Now, I know you told me once, but which congressman did you say this was?
Joe Robideau, Louisiana's 4th district. He sits on the water committee.
The congressman is concerned about the water situation in Los Angeles.
The congressman can rot in hell. Tell him to play on his own side of the yard.
Well, please don't mistake us, Mr. Tyler. Joe Robideau is a friend of yours. He wants to keep you away from any more harm. The party hasn't forgotten all you've done for it.
They've done a pretty good job of pretending. You've got a lot of water in your part of Louisiana, Mr.
Talmadge. Yes, sir, we do.
Bayous and bays and other such exotic things. Los Angeles is built in a desert.
In a semi-arid basin, actually.
The man who controls the water in a desert or a semi-arid basin is a god.
Even gods can't fall, Mr. Tyler.
Look at what happened to Amon-Ra, to Zeus, to Wotan.
Barney Rothman's death must be, awkward for you.
Try satisfied.
His articles left you twisting in the wind.
She's very frank.
She's, new.
At my age, everyone's new. Now, listen up, my fellow public servants, and then tell your congressional master that I wasn't trying to cover up anything. I just didn't want to panic the public.
Oh, but they did get panicked, Mr. Tyler. The biggest thing in this town since President Quayle and Jessica Hahn, we hear.
And Mr. Rothman died so suddenly in such suspicious circumstances.
And your boss is afraid that some pinhead will try to tie me to this? Barney Rothman wasn't after me. Barney Rothman was a man without an agenda, if there ever was one. I had no reason to cause his death.
But it doesn't look good. Now, Congressman Robideau has friends in the justice community. And if there was another plausible direction for this investigation to pursue,
We could arrange for the obstruction of justice.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that, but if you felt you wanted to make trouble for someone, I might suggest Miss Teresa Winans.
The woman who gave Rothman the story.
Yes. She is, on balance, the one I'd like to strangle.
Well, I can't do that for you, Mr. Tyler, but I think we could bring the IRS in on it. Maybe kill a credit rating, order a blood review. Would that even it up?
It wouldn't even come close, but if it amuses you, don't let me stop you.
What was your perception of Mr. Tyler?
He was pretty smart, pretty cautious. What's yours?
He does not think much of women.
I didn't notice that.
You never do. We're going to have to talk about that.
Hi, I'm Teresa Winans. I'm sorry I can only give you a few minutes, but we're having another crisis.
Pretty valuable water.
It should be, but we keep finding PCBs.
Meaning?
They are complex polymer chemicals used in old-style power transformers and industrial applications. They are extremely poisonous, even in minute doses.
And effects are worsened on low ozone days. There's a seepage somewhere in the system. If Bennett Tyler had his way, 50 million people would be drinking it. It's incredible. He's not an engineer. He's never been elected to anything. And he gets to control all our water.
There you go.
Thank you.
What would happen if you spilled it?
Depends on the concentration. It could kill you.
So you blew the whistle to Barney Rothman on it.
Poor Barney. I used to think I was proud of telling him. Now I don't know.
What happened when the story came out?
It almost cost me my job. Bennett Tyler's a very powerful man. But that was part of my reason for speaking out. If we could get rid of him, we could actually start to change the autocracy that has a stranglehold on this city's water.
The ducks seem unaffected by the contamination.
They picked the wrong place to land. With the kind of concentration they're getting, they'll be dead before tomorrow.
Back to the precinct?
Other than finding a place to shower, I'm fresh out of ideas.
What about visiting your friend Mark Kaminsky?
That's a good idea. Now, putting Marco away for the third time would be a cleansing of sorts.
Yancy! Yancy! Yancy!
Hey, Marco, a long time no arrest.
Hey, no harassment in front of my partners, okay? Whoa, who's your friend?
Sergeant E. Edison.
Aren't there any new people out there committing crimes, man? Or is it easier to make your quota harassing a guy on parole?
I came by to see the new racket. Thought maybe I could run you in for a record third time.
It's strange. I import wine, Bordeaux from the Yangtze Valley. With the blight in Europe, it's a thirsty market.
Did you ever speak to a Barney Rothman about this?
Sure, I got him to do a column. Come here. I heard about what happened. And it's too bad. I mean, I knew him pretty well.
How well?
Well, I mean, I used to tip him to things.
Anything recently?
No. It's just that they got this punk up at that newspaper, that Eric Easton, the food guy. I called him 3 times trying to get him to do his story. He's laughing at me as he's hanging up the phone. 10 years ago, I'd have a punk like that lying in a ditch. So Barney gave me the ink.
And you sure there's nothing else going on between you two, right?
No, it's the Chinese wine, really. Here, try some. Take some to your friends. Hey? And Bobby. Will you do me a favor? Will you let me get on with my business? The straight and narrow is hard enough as it is. I really got to get back to my party.
Hey, Bobby. That smells very appetizing for an amateur.
I don't think a little show of gratitude would be out of line just now, Eric.
Absolutely. I know I've been burning you lately, and you've invited me over for dinner, so I picked you up a little something for letting me in on the case. Something you can really use. It's a cooking watch. It times things, converts grams to ounces, keeps track of your fiber consumption.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we still want everything you know. This doesn't get you off the hook.
You'll get it. Absolutely.
Ladies and Eric, we shall begin with my gumbo Baton Rouge. This is real man food, Eric. I mean, Louisiana rocket car jumpers eat it. Justin Ledoux had this very gumbo before he flew to his death in Mount Fuji.
You burnt the roux.
Oh, by the way, don't touch those.
Why not?
They're Bayou Santaca peppers. The outsiders just can't eat them.
They have a heat measurement of 50,000 Scoville units, compared to just 10,000 for the average jalapeno.
I can eat those.
Eric, trust me. They're too hot. I got you some milder ones down there. Serve yourself some rice, okay?
Well, she can eat them.
You know, she's an honorary Cajun.
That's ridiculous. I lived among the Pathet people for 3 weeks while I mastered clay pot cooking. If I could eat their peppers, I could eat yours. No sweat. I have the most sophisticated palate in L.A.
All right then, Eric. I'll see you and raise you.
Nice metaphor.
I heard it in a movie. Two Guns Blazing, 1939, starring Randolph Gray and Bobo Newman. Trouble starts to brew when a ruthless cattle baron moves in on sheep territory.
Yeah, okay. What's the raise?
Habanero peppers, the tiger's father. The traditional meal of Aztec assassins before suicide missions, 300,000 Scoville units.
Back off, Eve. He's out of his league.
After eating one of these, it is said that the warriors would lust for a quick and violent death. To stop the burning.
Piece of cake. Start your engines.
I'm sorry, I don't have any of that fancy Antarctic glacier water you drink.
I'll take tap water!
Oh, hey, the water's off.
Yes, the sector has had its consignment for the day. At any rate, water would only exacerbate a spice burn.
My teeth are melting!
You may be suffering tissue damage, man. Buttermilk would be very soothing.
You got buttermilk?
Yes.
You want some?
Yeah, buttermilk.
Buttermilk. Oh, yeah, and tell me everything you know about Barney Rothman.
Oh, yes. He was sleeping with Dolores Peterson.
Oh, get out of here.
I swear I was following him around. Buttermilk.
I knew you knew something like this, Eric. You just bought yourself some buttermilk.
What's with you? You got a cast iron stomach?
You'd be surprised.
boy, we really must be getting at them. They're shooting at us. This is great.
Who's they, Eric?
The bad guys. The military-industrial complex in league with the CIA?
Eric, they closed the CIA 3 years ago.
Oh, sure, that's what they'd like you to believe.
None of the neighbors saw a thing. You finished upstairs, Eve?
The most useful thing I saw was a car fleeing the scene. A black DeLorean Coyote, 3 years old. California license plates 3LJS566. The paint chipped off the loop at the second six. It also needs an oil change. You could smell it in the exhaust.
Oh, well, we'll get them if they're still on the move.
I can't believe they shot at us. This is front page for sure.
Who is this?
Oh, it's all right. I'm a reporter.
A food reporter.
Eric Easton.
Eric Easton, the pumpernickel man.
This pumpernickel thing is starting to take on a life of its own.
Cap, are we through here with this? Why don't you take Eric with you? He can show you a great place for a late supper.
Oh, wait a minute. What are you guys doing?
Nothing.
Oh, no, you're not. You're doing something to break this case, aren't you?
Come on, Pulitzer, let's go.
No, wait a minute. What are you guys doing, really?
I'm gonna hit the hay. It's been a hard night.
Oh. Bull!
You're right, Eric. It is bull. Actually, we are going to the opera.
Come on, buddy.
We are sorry to have asked you here at this hour, but it would not have been necessary had you made a full disclosure earlier.
Quite true.
What can you tell us concerning these stories about you and Rothman?
Barney and I had been carrying on for several years.
Secretly.
Well, that was the theory.
Were you and Barney both content with the state of your romantic entanglement?
You do have a way of putting things. The answer is yes.
And the only reason you held out on us was because you didn't want your affair to become public.
Well, I move in circles where sleeping with a help is just not done.
I read a fascinating analysis of that problem by D.H. Lawrence.
Mrs. Peterson, do you have any knowledge of Mr. Rothman's movements the last few weeks?
He left this at my place. I thought it might help you.
Good evening, Mr. Rothman.
There is this on the night that he died. Water Department, runoff Sluice C. 6 a.m. with T.
With T? Tyler?
Or Tipper. That's your name.
But it's not my style. I've never cared much for the great outdoors.
I guess we better set our alarm clocks early and get out of that sluice. Paints a picture of Barney Rothman, doesn't it?
With good probability. Where do you think all the water's going?
Runs into a maze of tunnels. Maybe Ben Tyler can give us a clue where it goes.
If he'll tell us the truth, we might be better off with someone of equal knowledge but less self-interest.
Like Teresa?
She fits the profile.
Sluiceway C. I can't imagine why water would be running through there. It's a conduit for the storm drains. It would only be used in times of emergency to avoid flooding.
This town hasn't seen a flood since '96.
I bet Ben Tyler has an explanation. Maybe he wants to maintain a shortage.
Supply and demand.
I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put anything past him.
Maybe we can find out. We'll let you know.
The ducks are still alive.
That's a new family. I wish we could rig a system that would keep them from landing. We spent lunch yesterday fishing out the bodies of the ducks you saw.
I know who can solve this case for us.
Who?
The ducks. This is the duck that we saw that first day at the reservoir. And then this is the duck that we saw today. It is the same duck.
How can you tell? All ducks look the same.
Not to me. According to Teresa, any bird that landed in that reservoir would die within 1 day. These ducks are completely healthy. What if that water is chemical-free?
And it's worth a fortune.
So perhaps Bennett Tyler's not the one to worry about.
So maybe it's somebody else, like the person in charge of testing the water. So maybe the meeting with T was with Teresa. Better see what there is on her.
So Rothman was investigating a poisoned reservoir that wasn't poisoned, and when he found out, he got hit, and your suspect is an environmentalist?
But the question is, how is she getting it to market?
Runoff from Sluice C. If there's fresh water from the reservoir running through there, Teresa's our killer.
How can he find out?
Eric Easton's gonna check it out for us.
I got a feeling I'm gonna regret asking this, but what are you talking about?
Eric gave me this. They sell for $69.95 at Lasertown. It looks like a watch to bug.
So
I left it home while we were doping everything out. 10 to 1, Eric's running through that sluice way right now.
Remembering what happened to Barney Rothman, don't you think that might be a little risky?
Nah. Guys like Eric never die. Besides, somebody's got to do the footwork.
I thought it was all over. Oh, thank you.
Are you all right?
Yeah. Thanks to you.
Oh, good. Are you a nosy fella, Eric? You know what happens to nosy fellas?
What's that? No. I knew you were cutting me out, and I wanted this story so bad I could taste it. But I was wrong. I could see I was wrong. Wrong. Eric!
How many times have I heard this?
No, really, I mean it this time. When that water came rushing down, I had a revelation. All I want to do is review Guatemalan restaurants and eat Cuban sandwiches and sample faux trout from Oregon.
Yeah, okay. You got no reason to lie. You're a dead man anyway.
What are you talking about?
The water, Eric. It's deadly poison. Full of PCBs. That's what Barney was investigating, remember?
Oh, God. You're not serious.
Sure I am. Hey, if it was the pure stuff, I would have jumped in myself. You know how long it's been since I had a shower?
It's perfectly clean.
Couldn't resist.
Don't forget who's still in charge here.
Tyler! He's the killer. I knew it. I do have the right instincts. Not that I would ever print any of this.
If this is a crude attempt to frame me, where are the police? I had a phone call from the police asking me to meet them here.
That'd be us, Mr. Tyler.
Well, that's a fast career switch, Mr. Talmadge.
We asked you down here because you seem to have a pretty fair supply of water where there's not supposed to be any.
That's impossible.
Obviously not.
The water in this sluiceway drains from the tainted reservoir.
But it is not tainted.
So the question becomes, where is it going?
Down the storm drains to the harbor.
All of that fresh water dumped into the sea?
That doesn't make any sense. There's no motive.
Unless it's being diverted before it gets there.
The harbor?
The outlet wouldn't be anywhere near Carl Street, would it?
Right next to it. Why?
Will somebody please tell me what's going on here?
Guess what's at the foot of Carl Street?
Of course! One of those agro-business tankers.
Mark Kaminsky's bottling plant.
I'd like a little water with your Chinese Bordeaux.
Water with Bordeaux? But that would just dilute... Oh. How insidiously clever.
A dust storm? How long till the trucks get through?
What's the problem? We need to move tonight.
The drought. The dust blows in from the desert. The valley freeways are closed.
Listen, Alvarado, this is not complicated. Find a way to get your trucks here or I'll bury you. You gotta learn to push.
Hey, the hell with pushing. I think we should get out while we can.
You are such a disappointment. This is not our deal.
You left our deal behind weeks ago. Dead men were not part of our deal.
Rothman was getting close. What was I going to do? Let him send us to jail?
And shooting at a cop?
That one should have worked.
Depends on your point of view, I guess.
You were both under arrest.
You got Marco. Lied to me, Marco. Tried to kill me. And your wine sucks. Looks like I got the hat trick going on.
It's all your fault.
Can you handle these two for a minute?
Sure, what are you doing?
Take it where you can get it.
Instead, I end up with a cut red hood. I'm gonna get
Have you read Eric's column today? He's suggesting a horse radish sauce for coho salmon.
So?
Well, it is not like Eric to use such a radical combination. It is quite aberrational.
Or completely normal.
What do you mean?
Well, people find their station in life and then discover it wasn't what it was cracked up to be. I mean, Eric was desperate for some adventure, danger, intrigue.
So he begins putting it into his recipes.
Exactly. A food writer wants to become a crime reporter. A wise guy wants to import Chinese wine. Cop wants to become a cook. It's human nature.
I don't really understand that, man. I was built to be who I am. My essence precedes my existence, as Sartre would say.
We talking the Sartre who plays second for the Angels, huh?
No, Jean-Paul Sartre, the French philosopher.
So you think you were built for just one thing, huh?
Yes, to enforce the law.
But what if, while enforcing the law, you find something else you really want to pursue?
Like what?
Well, I don't know. You're like your worm collection.
My worm collection does not threaten to become a profession.
You never know. One day you pick up a worm. Next thing you know, you got a worm colony. Pretty soon you give up the law to pursue a career in wormology.
Entomology. And I don't think that's a likely scenario.
Maybe, but the fact is, the course of one's life is about as predictable as the weather.
My point precisely. With modern technology, one can predict meteorological conditions with amazing precision.
You think so?
The drought is a perfect example.
Maybe you're right. And again, maybe you're not.
Next, don't miss an extraordinary story as Hallmark Hall of Fame presents Miss Rose White. And Monday night, The Fresh Prince gives a crash course in sex education. Then on an all-new Blossom, she's gorgeous, sexy, and hot for Joey's bod. Only one problem, she's his boss. The sexiest hour of comedy Monday on NBC.